Hello, everybody. I hope you've been having a good time so far. Um, this is Wild Horse Rescue, Barbie Horse Adventures Wild Horse Rescue. I, Soulcloset2, am running this game today, so I am also the person doing the tech setup for this stream, so excuse me while I set up a couple of last-minute things here to make sure you guys can hear everything. One problem with this game is the audio does drop to a very low volume about halfway through the run. It's just an emulator artifact, nothing we can really do about it. So if the game is too loud, it'll get quieter. If the game is the right volume, sorry, it'll still get quieter. But I will try my best to keep things in order while I do this wonderful run for you guys today. For those of you who might not know me, I play this game a lot on my stream, again, Soulcloset2, you can see my stream name up there, and I'm really excited to show it off for you guys. Running this game is what got me into the Barbie speedrunning community back in, 2017-18 alongside Maury's Illusion, who will be doing a run at the end of today, of a different game. So, without this game, I wouldn't be here. Barbiethon probably wouldn't be happening right here. A lot of things wouldn't be the case were I not to have found this wonderful, wonderful little Xbox game. So, with that said, we're going to get started. I will be doing, optimal strats. The no fulls category that we're running today is the fastest category of this game, and I am the world record holder. I'll explain it as we go, but because we've got a little extra time in the schedule, I will be taking the time to customize Barbie and give her a wonderful, beautiful outfit. So if you guys want to shout some colors into the chat, I will pick some at random for my items of clothing. With that said, we're going to get started. In 3, 2, 1, go. So I apologize in advance for the computer noise. I see 2 pinks, so if I have... Most of these are locked, but that's purple, so that's close enough. Let's see if I have a pink shirt here. We do have a pink shirt. We can put a jacket, but the jackets are not pink. Someone said green. I don't have a green jacket. Let's see if we can get green pants. No green pants. We've got pink pants. Can we get... The boots are green. Yeah. The boots are green, so let's do green boots, jacketless, pink clothes where we can do them. Alright, so this will be our Barbie for today. And from this point forward, this will be just like a normal run of this game. So let's go. So yeah, again, I apologize for the controller noise. It's just kind of the way this game goes. Fun fact, Barbie does not usually get off the horse to the right there. It doesn't save or lose any time. It's just a random glitch that sometimes happens in this introductory section. So, in this game, generally, you can see it's a 3D game here. You would consider this kind of an adventure game. Generally, the point is to do what we're going to do here, which is rescue these baby foals. A foal is a baby horse. And we're going to be patting the foal and taking it to that safe point over there to the left. And in an all foals run, or a completionist / 100% run, you'd be doing this a lot of times, tens of times. However, in this game, or in this category alone, we do not collect any more foals after this first one, and so that is the only time you will see us save one of these poor baby horses, and you will see a lot more of them stranded without help. I'm sorry. Can't claim to be a humanitarian running this game necessarily. So the category should more accurately be called no optional foals, but we call it no foals because that's what we've always called it. Anyway, the main goal of this game, given that we're not collecting any more foals, is going to be to get to the end of each level as soon as we can and complete an end-of-level minigame. There are 9 levels in this game. There are 3 levels in each environment. This is the forest trail, then there is the snowy mountain trail, and then finally the shoreline or beach trail. So we'll be completing 3 levels in each of them, and the first and third level in each area will require you to capture a wild adult horse at the end by lassoing it, and the second level will require you to race another character from the Barbie universe. So because this is the first level in the section in Forest Trail, we will be capturing a wild horse at the end of this level, and I'll show that off later. But for now, we're just navigating the level as quickly as possible. You'll see we have to get this key here, and then get off the horse to open this fence so that we can head on through. But that's the only kind of things we'll be doing. We'll be collecting a number of keys to open locked fences throughout the game, but we won't be doing any optional puzzles. Pretty much no puzzles actually are required to beat the game without collecting the optional foals. So you'll mostly just be seeing movement, and that's why this game is very optimized. The record run in this game, this game is timed without loads, but I'll give you my real time so that you can compare to the time I get today. My real time world record time for this game is 34 minutes and 18 seconds, if I remember correctly, which translates on my setup to a 33:18 without loads. Thank you. Someone said nice jump. Appreciate it. There'll be a lot more where that's coming, where that's coming from. But, what am I trying to say? Basically, this game is all movement. It's knowing which textures and which items have certain hitboxes. It's knowing how to control the horse very precisely. And it's knowing what's coming so that you can adjust your speed and your approach appropriately. The horse has a very particular turning radius, let's say. Range of motion. And pretty much constant inputs are required to make sure that you continue to go the correct way as quickly as you can. So coming up here to the left, we're going to go up this hill and go into our first cutscene. Well, not our first cutscene. Our first end-of-level cutscene. And that's the wild horse we'll be catching. It's this white horse here. And when we catch this horse, to do that anyway, we're going to be running up to the horse, and you'll see a meter appear on the right side of the screen. When it fills to the top and flashes, press the A button to use the lasso and rescue the horse. So Barbie explained it. We're going to listen for an audio cue here. So in this level alone, not any of the future levels, when Barbie says great job after you capture that horse, you can actually pause and click return to stables, which is like exit level in this game. And it doesn't take you out to the main menu, it just takes you right back here to the Silver Valley stables. That you'll see that we unlocked the second level right after we caught the horse, even though we didn't wait for the cutscene to start. On every future level, including this one, we will have to wait for the ending cutscene after the race or the wild horse catch before we can progress to the next level and before we can exit to the stables. But on that first level, there's more dialogue because the game is tutorializing you, and that triggers the level end a little bit early in the background, which means you can leave early and save yourself about 5 seconds. There are no major glitches in this game that are used in the speedrun. There is one glitch. I probably won't show it off because it's kind of finicky to set up, but it doesn't do anything useful. It literally just clips you into the ground and then you die. We won't be showing that off in this run, most likely, but because there are no glitches in this game, and there's just, you know, cutscene skips where possible and stuff like that, it serves to be a really optimized game. The game is very tightly made. It's very, I would say this game's very well made for what it is. The collision is very consistent. It's a little bit unpredictable in some places, but it's predictable once you know what to look for. It may be not intuitive, but it's predictable. And so that means that the more you play this game, the better you're going to get at it, pretty much no matter what, especially in No Foals, where it is all down to your movement and your knowledge of the game. Which is why I've chosen this game to be my main speed game for almost 4 years now. I've put a lot of time into grinding out runs of this game, and I hope it pays off for a good run that you guys can see. Said the foal climbed a ladder. Who are we to tell it to get down? Yeah, that foal in Forest Trail 1 that was up on top of the cliff. It's like, how did it get up there? There's a lot of foals in this game where it looks like someone would have had to maliciously place it in the location that you find it for it to get there in the first place. That's just the first of many. There is one foal that I wish I could show off to you guys. that is in Snowy Mountain Trail 1, I believe. Maybe Snowy Mountain Trail 2, actually. I'm not sure. Where it is behind... it's in a cave, and you can only access the cave by pushing a giant ice statue of a horse on top of a hole to climb down a ladder. Who the hell carved a horse out of ice recently enough for it not to be melted, and then trapped a horse under it behind a boulder? No idea. But that's just the kind of thing that this game wants to throw at you. So we're going to be getting this key here and immediately turning around instead of doing the cool puzzle section up ahead. Wow. Because this run avoids all the fun and just does the fast stuff, which makes it fun in its own way. It just went there, innit? I can't do accents. But yeah, so we'll be grabbing this one. Like I said, since this is the second level in Forest Trail, we'll be doing a race against another character at the end of this one. And I'm assuming that most of you guys are pretty familiar with the Barbie series, maybe some Barbie video games. So you might be happy to see who we're racing at the end of this section here. A beloved character in the Barbie series.
Hey Teresa, how's the search going? Hi Barbie.
It's Teresa. Everybody loves Teresa. If you don't love Teresa, you're wrong.
How about a quick race before we look for the rest? Okay, I'm sure we're gonna find them all soon. The first to finish 3 laps wins.
Pritchard.
3.
So yes, we do have Teresa here. Later on, we'll be seeing Christy, which is very cool. However, instead of seeing any of the other members of Barbie's little friend group, we will be seeing a character unique to this game as far as I know, which is Mrs. Hepburn, the owner of the stables. And so she is going to race us at the end. Not the end of the game, but the last race. Against Becky. So, yeah, we all love Teresa. She's great. Her Spanish voice actress in the European version of this game, when you set the language to Spanish, does an excellent job. I really love the Spanish dub of this game. Unfortunately, I don't currently own a PAL copy for Xbox. And so while I do have a copy for PS2, the PlayStation 2 version is a lot slower, and so we don't play on that version. However, I will say that if you guys are interested in running this game, and you maybe have a PS2, or you already have a PS2 copy of this game, or if you use emulators, maybe you're more comfortable with playing on a PlayStation 2 emulator, no worries. While the game is longer, it is all in loading times. It is not, like, slower gameplay. And so we actually do time this game without loads on the leaderboard. I'm a moderator, as well as KK Writer, who's a very cool other runner of this game. And so any platform is viable for running this game at a high level. It's just, you'll be spending a lot more time waiting around if you play on the PlayStation 2, so do not worry. Right here, we'll be moving into Forest Trail 3.
Let's follow the trails of the forest.
Forest Trail 3, pretty normal level. We will see our first big scary animal in this level. There's a variety of big scary animals throughout the game. There are 2 different varieties of bear. This is the first one. There's a brown bear here. If we go too close to it, it'll growl at us and make us stop and lose some health. You can see our health bar at the top of the screen there. But we avoided it, so it's not a big deal. There are also bear cubs, you might have seen off to the left. Yes, so Pebbles, you asked, can we go back to the stables right there to get progress? So, when the cutscene starts after a race or a wild horse catch at the end of the level, we can go back to the stables immediately. The only difference is on Forest Trail 1, we can actually leave before the cutscene starts when Barbie says, "Great job, you captured the horse." She says that voice line after every wild horse catch, but only in the first level can we leave during that voice line, which is why we save time. If we tried to leave during that voice line in the other levels, it would not count our progress, and we'd have to repeat the level we were on. So it's just a difference between the first level and all the others. But yeah, so you'll see a skunk up here. They will, if you stand near them too long, they will run towards you and spray, and that'll make you lose health. But it's not too big a deal. We can avoid them pretty handily. We're gonna just skirt right around the skunk here to get the key, and head back right this way for the key gate. If you don't do the right inputs to stop as you come up to a gate that you have to stop at to get off the horse will actually buck and lose you a couple seconds as it does an animation. So you do have to be nice to the horse to go fast in this game, which I think is pretty nice. There's only a couple things in this game that are faster when you're mean to the horse. Unfortunately, we got a bad cycle on these logs here. I think I was just sloppy with my execution. But we made it out generally okay. There's going to be a river down here, I believe. Yeah. Really do be horsing around. Welcome to the stream. But yes, she sure do. So this is the second Barbie Horse Adventures game that we've done in the marathon today. The first was Mystery Ride that Alien Shock's run earlier this morning. But it will not be the last. We will actually be showing off all 4 Barbie Horse Adventures games this weekend. The third will be, again, later today. Near the end of the marathon, I'll be doing Barbie Horse Adventures Riding Camp, which is a very different game. And then tomorrow we have Naidani returning to do Barbie Horse Adventures Blue Ribbon Race for the Game Boy Advance. So if you guys tune in today and tomorrow, you will be seeing all of the Barbie Horse Adventures games, which is pretty cool. Gonna be a fun one. So for this horse catch, same thing as normal. The lasso meter will show up and we'll press A to catch the horse. You'll see that I approached it from the right. The horse goes in a couple of preset paths based on where you approach it from. Usually it's just left or right. You might be able to hear that the game got a lot quieter there. There's nothing I can do about that, unfortunately. This game just gets really quiet halfway through and then periodically gets louder throughout the end. So for the rest of the stream, you'll be hearing my wonderful voice. So, sorry about that. It is just an issue with the game that I cannot fix. But with that said, this is Snowy Mountain Trail 1, so we got a major change in scenery here. And this is the only environment, these 3 levels coming up, are the only environment where we see slippery ice. So that's kind of fun. Adds a new kind of layer to the movement in this game. You'll see that there's some bear cubs down here. We unfortunately got bad luck with the bear cubs, so we have to kind of go wide on that turn to avoid it. Sometimes you can go to the right and skip in front of that bear, which saves a couple seconds, but it's completely random which way the bear decides to go. The small scary animals in this game, rather than the big ones, go on kind of random paths in the same spawning area, whereas the big scary animals are cycle-based and go on a preset path. So the bears and moose and I think it's just bears and moose that are the big scary animals in this game, and they will always be in the same places if you're on the same pace no matter what, whereas the smaller ones you kind of have to adapt in real time. So that was another example there of the key was right there, and they want you to go to that other area to rescue a foal, but we're not doing that. We're skipping out on the foals. Coming up here after this gate, there is a jump over a crevice in the ice, and that's where we could do the out-of-bounds glitch, but I'm going to skip it since we spent a little bit of time at the start of the run messing with the outfit configuration. So if we have time at the end, maybe I'll come back and show it off, but for now, we're going to be getting off the horse. So you'll see, even though it looks like there's room on this bridge to ride the horse, just like under the fountain on Forest Trail 1, there are some areas in this game where, even though the path looks big enough for your horse, the horse gets scared and can't progress. There's an invisible wall. And so we'll have to get off the horse and lead the horse on foot by the reins. The reins are kind of elastic in this game, and if you get too far away from the horse while dragging it on the reins will break and the horse will stay in place. So we really don't want that to happen. It's a little bit tricky. You can see I was kind of running into walls, but when I'm doing that section, I'm not really looking at Barbie so much as I'm looking at the horse and seeing which way the horse is moving. And Barbie is kind of just like, you know, it's weird. Like, I control Barbie, and Barbie controls the horse. And so it's kind of like a layer of separation between your controller and what the horse actually does. You'll see the bear is on the right side of this rock, so we're just going to go to the left and barely avoid it there. It's pretty easy. We're going to try to go across this bridge here. Good. That's really hard to aim onto. You might notice from some places where I make small mistakes. Haha, barely avoid it. Yes, indeed. But this game has some really janky collision, just pretty much everywhere. So, it's not necessarily as easy as it might look to go the right way, go through something smoothly, you know, be fast about it.
Try to catch the horse.
And that's one of the biggest complexities of this game, is learning the jankiness.
Great job. We've rescued one of the horses.
So, Snowy Mountain Trail 1 is pretty easy there. Not too hard of a level. And we'll be heading on to Snowy Mountain Trail 2. This level will feature the ice race, which is pretty cool. This level is also one of the most satisfying levels to get a good cycle on, so I'm really hoping I can show that off for you guys. You probably won't know what to look for if you don't run this game, so I'll tell you guys whether I get it or not. Starts out with a cutscene telling you about a foal that we're not going to rescue. And then we're going to be going on the ice here. We're going to try to get a good starting line. You'll see that we kind of turned, and now it's slippery. So you'll see I'm aiming to the right, and it takes a while for the horse to catch up. Weirdly, one of the things that's best prepared me for how to ride the horse on this ice section is playing Trackmania. So shout out to any of my Trackmania players who might be in the chat today. I know a lot of people are ice haters, but I like ice, and, you know, maybe this game prepared me for that. That game prepared me for this. It's symbiotic. So, anyway, we'll be rounding this corner here. Oh, I almost actually missed that jump. If you take a jump with too sharp of an angle, the horse will actually bump into the obstacle instead of jumping over it, which will cause you to buck and have to back up, and it's very slow. There is no jump button in this game, so every time you see me jump over an obstacle is because there's a pre-programmed jump in that location. And so the only thing that matters for jumping is that you're running. You'll see I'm going at my running speed pretty much all the time here, and that you are in the right, you have the right angle coming at the obstacle. So I'll be trying to maintain that the whole time. I don't really foresee myself running into any of the jumps instead of jumping over them for the rest of the game here. Most of the hard stuff is actually in the first 3 levels, so the rest of the game here should be relatively smooth sailing. With that said, you know, things can always go a little bit wrong, so we'll see. This ski lift up here, coming to the right, is our indicator of a good cycle. So if we are in front of the chair like we were there, that means we are on pretty much world record pace for this level. We're not on world record pace for the whole run, I don't think. Especially because we waited around at the start. But this level we are doing pretty well. So I'm glad I was able to nail this. We're going to head through this little snowy corridor here and get to the second race, which is against Christy, and features a lot of slippery ice. Nice.
Hey, Christy, how's the search going?
Yeah, you mentioned the big snowballs in the chat there. The next level features us climbing the snowy mountain, and it's a very cool level. I like the way it's designed, but one important thing is that there are snowballs that if we're on the right cycle and we steer the horse the right way, there are these huge snowballs that are supposed to hit you no matter what. You're supposed to go, like, in between when they come out of their spawn point. If you're familiar with Super Mario 64, think of the cannonballs in Bomb on Battlefield. If you're good at the game, you can avoid them, jump over them, or jump around them. But if you're, a kid who's supposed to be playing the game, you'll be getting hit by those every time they come, and you'd have to walk up the mountain in between them. So we'll be trying to do something similar. We'll be trying to skip those snowballs going in between them instead of waiting for them or getting hit by them. It's a little bit random, so I might not get it, but I'm hoping to only get hit by one or none of those snowballs. Yeah, you guys voted for jacketless, so can't blame me. I usually leave Barbie in her default outfit, which is like shorter pants that don't go all the way down to the ankle, and an even less covering long sleeve shirt. So, hypothermia %, frostbite %. But I really like this race. I've said often in my streams that this is my favorite race in the game, because it's another one of those things in this game where it looks easy, but when you actually do it, it's quite technical. It's very precise. That's one of my favorite things about this game, is that it's pretty forgiving in that pretty much everyone will make a mistake. It's pretty much impossible to do a run of this game and not make some mistakes, but the mistakes are very long. And so if you can just get through things in a precise way and master the movement and not make big mistakes like that, it'll automatically save you time. It's a very gratifying game to run with, you know, splits and personal bests visible, because you'll see yourself rapidly improve as you learn the route and you learn the movement. It's very intuitive once you know the controls. That's one of my favorite things about this game. I have often said that I think that, you know, something like Barbie Horse Adventures Mystery Ride or Secret Agent Barbie for the PC is the most impressive Barbie game. And that could be argued. All of them are cool in their own ways. I'm not trying to discredit any other games. But I think this game is my favorite to run because of just its principles. There's no glitches. There's no, you know, impossible to see tech. It's just routing and movement, and I love that. That bridge that I crossed with the 3 raccoons, you'll see that I avoided all of them. And so if you're not familiar with this game, you know, it might seem like, oh yeah, you know, it's easy. You just go on the right side and you skip them. But actually, it is very random whether those raccoons will hit you. And so I got very lucky there getting a 0 raccoon bridge. Raccoon bridge isn't like a reset point. I tend not to reset when I'm this far in a run, no matter what. But raccoon bridge is one of the easiest ways to lose time in this game, just because it is effectively random whether they'll hit you. Like I said before, small animals are somewhat random, whereas large animals are predictable. So that's how that plays out. And yeah, I know what I just said is don't make mistakes, but it's like, you know, I feel like in other games, mistakes will usually either lose you a ridiculous amount of time or almost no time. You know, like there's optimal movement versus normal movement in pretty much every game. But in this game, there's no big tricks to fail. So there's no, like, multiple tens of seconds mistakes or whatever. But every single mistake will pretty much lose you a couple of seconds. And so it's it rewards consistency more than anything. So you'll see that we're trying to climb up the mountain here. We'll be coming up on those snowballs I was talking about pretty soon. And I'm not going to talk during this part because I need to breathe. I've been talking constantly. Oh, dang it. We were on the wrong cycle there. What a shame. Great. So, I did get hit by that one snowball, which is a bit of a shame, but that one's pretty much blind. You either get it or you don't, whereas the other two you can strategically avoid like I did there. This horse catch is one of the harder ones just because of the way the horse has a lead on you. But if we take this diagonal here, we can get it right about at this tree. Perfect.
Great job. We've rescued one of the horses.
So we'll be moving on to Shoreline Trail 1. We're in the last 3 levels of the game here. My record run of this game, like I said, is 34 minutes, 18 seconds real time. I'm expecting this run with how much we spent on the introductory section with the outfits and stuff. I'm expecting this run will be about, I'd say 36:20 or so. So we'll see if I end up being right. All right, so we just go straight over those hills there and down onto the beach. Slow to get caught in that water, but it's very hard. That wall has a larger hitbox than it looks like, so if you take the turn too tight, you just bump into it and stop completely. Going in the water is the safer option. There are some horse flies over here, but by going through the little meadow to the right, we avoid them completely, and there will be a cutscene here. Turtle's not too hard to avoid, but you'll see I bumped into the wall there. That's what I was trying to avoid on the first turn. So hop over these partitions. I like seeing y'all networking in the chat. You're like, hey, are you free? What do you think about this game? We love to see it. Bringing the community together. So this foal is really cool. It's one of my more favorite ones to do when I do a run that includes getting the optional foals. This foal, you have to clear out all the seagulls because they're scaring it, and then come back and get the foal and take it to that post over to the left. So you'll see as I ride past these seagulls, they kind of clear out automatically. So that's how you would do that, and there's a really cool little route for it. This area here does have a glitch that you can do, but again, it's not beneficial to the run, so we won't be doing it. But we'll be coming up here, and there's a cutscene, and we'll be going into our first race, or not race, our first wild horse catch of this environment. And this is where the game suddenly gets louder again.
Let's try to catch the horse. We need to be close.
You can lose a lot of time on this one.
Great job. We've rescued one of the horses.
Okay, so we didn't get the time loss there, but you can lose about 7 seconds there. Because Barbie will occasionally tell you that your horse is dirty and you need to clean it in a lake or river. And that doesn't actually affect your speed for moving or anything. It doesn't affect any other part of the game, so we don't clean off the horse intentionally. And just skirting through the water a little bit doesn't do it. However, if your horse is dirty, sometimes during the ending of that horse catch in Shoreline Trail 1, Barbie will tell you right before she says great job. She'll take 5 or 7 seconds to tell you, your horse is dirty, we should clean you up in a lake or river. And it takes a lot of time, and then she says great job, and then the cutscene starts. So that is an unfortunate, completely random time loss, because the horse is always dirty, and we do the same route every time, but sometimes she'll just say it right there and waste you a lot of time. So I'm glad we didn't get that here. We are coming closer and closer to the end of the run here. This level is cool. It's had some optimizations in the last year or so since I picked back up the game after a little break. But yeah, this level is mostly optimizations. You'll see how I was cutting over the corners of some hills and going in front of some rocks between a rock and a wall. Those are all little optimizations that we have to think about very intentionally because they are kind of precise movements, but they do save, you know, a second here and there, which really adds up when this game is very optimized. My current goal for speedrunning this game at the highest level is getting a sub 33 minute time after removing the loads. So for me, on my setup, that would be under 34 minutes real time. Very difficult. My sum of best is lower than that, but only by a couple seconds. So it'd be very tricky for me to actually nail that in a real-time run. This strategy here, going to the left of that boat and going around the rock, is faster by about 1.5 seconds. And that was only found about a month and a half ago when I did a sort of like semi-casual run of the 100% category for this game. Because that area back there to the left includes some collectibles, which you need to grab every collectible in the game, every coin I should say, to get 100%. And I was like, oh, you know, this path actually looks like it might be faster. And so I did some testing offline and recorded a video so I could have side-by-side how fast it was to do the normal route to the right versus going to the left, and found that going to the left was faster. So, you know, even in a game so straightforward as this, we're always finding new time saves. And while I don't think that there's anything else we're missing that's that big in the rest of the game, there's always room for improvement. So this is Mrs. Hepburn. She's the owner of the Silver Valley Stables. And we'll be racing her on this shoreline racetrack. The interesting thing about this race is we do go through water. You know, we have to go through the water. On the shoreline trail, or not, I'm sorry, the forest trail race, I did cut through the water to go faster because it was shallow water, and you just, you know, you cut off a large corner by going directly from one checkpoint to the next on that one. But on this one, you'll see the checkpoints are in the water, and we do have to go through the water to grab them. And so because you go so much slower in the water, the optimization is actually about how you come back out of the water. Because Barbie moves slower when going sideways on a vertical slope than she does going, you know, directly across a flat surface. And so you want to optimize for being on top of these little sand mounds as much as possible. However, sometimes that means you can't cut the corner. So like right here, we'll actually be staying on the slope so that we can cut that corner closer. Whereas on some of the others, instead of doing that, we'll be going up to the top and then going back down. Because going down a hill maintains your speed, whereas going up a hill, you go slower while you're going up. So, you know, we haven't done any like super intense analysis of this. It's just kind of me feeling it out, getting gold splits, and figuring out what's fastest. But yeah, little stuff like that is the kind of thing you have to think about with a game like this. Someone in the chat asked, does doing this race clean the horse? I'm actually not sure. I don't remember Barbie ever saying, the horse is dirty, we should clean it, after this race. But that might just be because there's not much of the game left, and so maybe she doesn't get a chance to. I'd like to think that this would clean the horse, but she does say lakes or rivers, or you can wash the horse at the stables. There's like a mini game. So I'm not actually sure whether this counts. Oh, no. Okay, I misinput there. Cool, good. But with that small mistake, we are moving on to the last level in the game. The reason you might see me kind of, oh no, come on. Might see me kind of drag the horse off to the left or right is because of the way I hold my controller for this game. I actually have it laying flat on my table, and I use my left thumb to hold the analog stick in the forward position to go forward, but then I use the D-pad for steering with my other hand. So it is a very janky setup. I use two hands on top of the controller, and I use my pointer and middle finger for the D-pad, and then my ring and pinky finger from the same hand, from my right hand, to press the face buttons for stuff like using keys or making the horse go faster. So, little bit weird. You can totally play this game just holding the controller like a normal controller, but I am more comfortable playing it this way because of the steering precision I get using the D-pad. And so I choose to use it that way, because this game is fully playable with a D-pad, but it does have analog steering, left and right. It doesn't have analog speed, you know, how fast you're going, but it does have analog left and right. And so if you use the stick, your steering inputs will be a little bit more sluggish than if you just use the D-pad left and right, since that'll be 100% instantly as soon as you press it. As we round this corner, we'll enter a cutscene, and this is the end of the game coming up. We'll be trying the biggest trick in the run during the very last horse catch. What I'll be trying to do is going wide to the right to avoid triggering the horse to start running. See it over there? I'm gonna go to the right here and jump into the wall. The wall's gonna push me out after I go over the log, and then I'm gonna go to the left, and that gets me closer to the horse before it starts running. And if I do this right, yes, I can catch the horse about 5 seconds early, and the run ends right there. So, I am very happy with that time. We spent about 40 extra seconds customizing Barbie at the start of the game, and we still got a 35:20. So if we take 40 seconds off of that, that makes this about a 34:40, which would be, I believe, 4th place on the leaderboard, but that's only about 25-ish seconds slower than my world record time. So very, very happy with this run live for Barbiethon. I hope you guys really enjoyed that run. I hope you guys have been enjoying the other runs by our wonderful runners today. Next up on the schedule will be Matthew running Barbie Pet Rescue for the Game Boy Color All Pets %. So get ready for that, get hype. I'm going to hop off so I can go get him set up for that. And you guys will be seeing me again later today at about 5 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. UTC for Barbie Horse Adventures Riding Camp. So keep enjoying Barbiethon 2022, and I will catch you guys in a little bit.